Hi, this is Terry from Sweet Pea Papers, the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group and the Junk Journal Tutorials and More Facebook group. And we're here today with Crafting with BeeBeeCraft. Sorry about that. Crafting with BeeBeeCraft. And this is Series 9, meaning this is the 9th time that I've done an unboxing and 2 crafting videos from the same items that I unboxed. And this is video 3 in the series, meaning this is our 2nd crafting video. Is that clear as mud? So this is Crafting with BeeBeeCraft Series 9-3. Okay, so what we're going to do is this is what we have left out of the unboxing that we haven't used yet. And so today we're not going to use these little papers and we're not going to use the brads. Most people know how to use brads. What we're going to use, oh, I'm sorry, and we had these little cards as well. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about stamping and stenciling. I know I've done some stenciling before, but I'm not sure if I've covered this topic, and that's going to be stenciling on manila folders. I use a lot of manila folders when I make folios, and I love to stencil on them. So, and I've started stamping on them as well, so we'll take a look at that. This is another metal stencil, and I love these metal ones, and I've never seen any other place that you can get them other than BeeBeeCraft. There may be, and Etsy's a big place too. There may be some places there, so you don't need to make comments in the comments of other places. Right now we're talking about the ones from BeeBeeCraft, and these I love. So this is the initial set that I got, and I really like these. I like this one especially, and I like this one the best, I think, and a couple other ones I like, the longer, skinnier ones. And so we're gonna take a look, I think, at one of these. We've got these really great stamps. I don't think this is gonna cover all of it, but we've got these really great stamps. Not sure if we're gonna use these or not, unless we use them in the center just to show, you know, how it works. And then we've got this floral one, not floral flowers, but the ferns and leaves like that. Big stencil. Fauna's animals. No animals on there. So we've got these 3. And then we've also got these big long stamps that we got. These are made by GLOBLELAND, and we got them at BeeBeeCraft. I can't talk today. And so I'm going to show you how I love to stamp with these long stamps on the tabs of manila folders. Now, one of the other things that we're going to use, of course, is some ink. I've gotten out pine needles, scorched timber, spiced marmalade. Now, this is an ink. These 2 are oxides. And then I also got out rustic wilderness, which is one of my favorite greens. So I've got that out. Let's put them together. Let's see, these 2 are greens. This is a brown, and then we have our marmalade, which makes, you would think marmalade would be really bright, but it makes a really nice color that looks sort of like, what is that rust color? Something rust. I don't remember what it's called. Rusty hinge. Rusty hinge. It looks sort of like rusty hinge. So, on paper, like it does on paper, spiced marmalade looks on manila folders. So this is a part of a manila folder, if you're not sure what I mean by one. This is a full-sized, legal-sized manila folder. Oh, look at that. It's got spray on it. I thought it was brand new. We could work on this one as well. And I don't even remember using purple or teal spray, but apparently I did. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the stamping, because I've got a nice big tab right here. So let's put our stencils to the side for right now. Now, if we're going to be using plant colors, then we're probably going to want to do our stamp in a brown. The reason I say that is it doesn't clash with the green. We're going to use green as our stencil color, and maybe a little bit of spiced marmalade. Yeah, so none of these particular ones that I picked, except for the one with the sunflowers on it, but it has telephones and cameras and stuff on it, but anyway, it doesn't matter, has a nature theme. Oh, there's sunflowers on this one, sunflowers and sewing. So I got these because I like the long skinny stamps. These I do not have a stamping platform for, or I mean I could use a stamping platform, but I don't have a stamping block for these, so we're going to try to use them by just doing it by hand. Something else that will help you out when you're doing your stamping is a soft kind of a padded surface. Now, not super padded, but like a mouse pad. A mouse pad works perfect. I have a collection of them, and I chose my black one because it doesn't show ink. Let's see, what else are we going to use? Oh, where did my little brush go? We've got a small brush. I got a set of 10 of these. There's a whole bunch. There's 10. And they're all different sizes and different angles and such. There's a great big one. And I think that's all 10. I almost had a hold of them. Okay, there's the 3. And this is all 10. And I love these. And I did get these on Amazon. You notice how quiet I said that? Amazon. But we're going to use these today. I think I might use this one and this one. I'm going to put the rest of them away. I do have these size, or this size brush. They make one size bigger around, and I don't like that. I like the smaller one. I have a friend that cuts the bristles down so that she has an even smaller, more precise area. So that's interesting how she does that. And she also has been known to add chopsticks to either side to make the handle longer. And it does some interesting things with the brush as well. That's my friend Elizabeth Riggle from Junk Journals with Joy. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our manila folder. We're going to open it up and put just this one layer on the pad. Now, this is obviously longer than the tab. So we're going to take the Scorched Timber, which is one of the new Tim Holtz colors, the Ranger colors. Let's just go ahead and use this one with the sunflowers and the dragonflies and the sewing. If we get just this one end, we'll get mainly sunflowers and dragonflies. Now, I haven't used one this kind of floppy in this method before, so we're just going to have to see how it works. You know what? Hold on just one second. This block might work, even though it isn't the full length, but we're not using the full length of the stamp either. So we can put this end, whoopsie, we can put this end on here and leave this end flopping in the breeze because we're not going to use the whole stamp anyway. Now let's figure out how far we do need to use. So we're going to start at this end of the tab. So I'm going to say we're going to stamp down to the end of where the handwriting is, even though it stops at about the middle of it, or not the middle, but about 3/4 of the way down the handwriting section. Now I know you can't see that. There we go. There's a handwriting section right here, and we're going to ink down to about here. Okay, so let's use our scorched timber for that. I know what results I'm going to get with this color, so let's give it a whirl. And then I'll do some kind of stenciling around the edge. Now, maybe not using as big of a stencil as what we've got, but we'll give it a whirl and see what we can do. So now let's line this up with the edge up here. Let's get it straight, and we lay it down, and we just push it down. You don't have to rock it back and forth or do anything else. Just push it down flat and hold it for a second. This is an oxide. It takes a second to grab and it takes a second to dry. Now just roll it up off like this and we have a perfect stamp. All right, we have a 99.9% perfect stamp because I didn't get ink on this very corner. So I missed this very corner, or the part where the little flower is. Okay, so that worked out fine though. Using this as the block worked out fine. So now with the stenciling, to go around the edges, I would use a repeating pattern stencil usually, but we're going to give it a whirl with, we're going to go with pine needles since it's such a big pad. I've never used pine needles before, but we're going to use it on a fern. We're going to call it fern needles. Now this great big one, you think, ooh boy, that's a nice nifty one, and I think so too. But if you're just going to do the edge and you're only going to see about 1/4 of an inch, you can see where the problem runs. You're only going to see this much of this one. So even if you turned it, you're still not going to see very much of the image from the template. However, if we use one of the straighter ones, like so, this one maybe, or maybe even these two leaves all the way around, that would probably work pretty well actually, because they're green. Leaves are green. And let's take a look and see what that looks like. And I like these. They're easy to clean, the metal stencils. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. They are a little thicker, so you need a brush, I would say, and not a dauber. This is just a Tim Holtz Media Mat, and it helps grip onto that, what do you want to call it, ink pad, so that it doesn't slide around. You want to be careful to not get the other stencils on here. Because let's just say we're doing a nature theme, you know. So we want to be careful. You can even tape off these, but this isn't even over the paper right now, so we don't really have to worry about that. We do have to worry about moving it. Okay. Oh, that looks pretty cool. All right, so then we would go down, and I think I would kind of stagger it. Let's make sure where our leaves are at and the stems. Maybe go like that and stencil that. You could even do one leaf one color and one leaf another. You can mix the colors. Now this is a really dark green. I do not think you could put the spiced marmalade on here and see it along with this to tint a different color. I think if you're going to use a color that's this dark, then you're going to need to probably just use this color along with a dark brown maybe, or even a black. The bristles on this one aren't quite long enough. Let me grab a green with a longer bristle. Let's see if this works better. This is giving us a nice sharp image, but having a little trouble. The brush is so small. Now remember, the ink is oily and it's on metal, so it's not really going to dry. So let me try this. Let's line it up where I was at. Okay, let's see if this is better. Now it's not going to be as dark and solid as that other brush, but it looks like this one with the longer bristles is going to work better, except right here it's a little close. So you're going to have to be really careful. I would maybe even tape this one off. Yeah, you can see I hit those two a little bit, and look, I hit the edge as well. Let's see what it looks like with just the brush. So now normally you wouldn't try all these different things down one edge, I wouldn't think. I mean, you might. So let's go really careful and really slow. See how well we can do. No, I still got the edge. And this brush is picking up some of this from the surface. That's why I haven't had to redo the brush. Yeah, see, I would have to practice with this one, mainly the edge. But the thing is, though, if you think about it, you're not going to see this edge anyway. Now this one you would see. How did I manage to do that? Anyway, you can see the brush works just as well. It just isn't as solid and dark as the little brush. Okay, so we would continue to do that all the way around. All right, and then you'll have to wash this, but they wash off super easy. The metal ones do. So now we've got that. Now let's just look at how the stencils work on the manila folder surface. So with the scorched earth and the distressed ink, we can take this big one and take these leaves, okay, and then this is a large pattern, so we've got plenty of space to move around with this smaller brush. I'm gonna get this one. I think this one's gonna work. We'll use the scorched timber, which is a nice brown. It's one of my favorites. It's like a grayish greenish brown. Okay, and we're going to do the edges. Remember, you want to be careful. You don't want to catch these other ones. And don't go all the way to the center. Just kind of do the edge. It'll take you a little bit longer, but you're going to like the result. And then we'll do this one. Don't do it all the way to the edge, and don't catch that little one. Okay? Or I mean, don't do it all the way to the center. Okay? I'm going to do this one. Try not to catch this one next to it. Oh, there's 3 leaves like that. I didn't even realize. But you're definitely, I think, going to have to tape off the ones next to these. They're very close on most of these leaves. Okay. Once you get to these bigger ones, you have a little bit more leeway filling it in. It's a little bit easier. So you've got that bigger area. Wow, I had some oatmeal for breakfast, and oatmeal is giving me a stomach ache of all things. Oatmeal. I find that rather hard to believe. So we're doing this. Let's get a little bit more brown. There we go. And then I'll do one more leaf. You don't have to use all of them. There's no rule that says you do. Okay. And leaving it where it is, so leave your hand here. Open the spiced marmalade. Let's get our other brush. Now these brushes have been used with other colors, but they're very good about not carrying the color over. And then let's just kind of blend it in. With the brown. Not doing very good color, very good blending. Making the stem the spiced marmalade, and then blending it where it goes up into the leaf. Looks like starting in the darker area of the brown works better. It works that way with alcohol inks as well. I mean markers, alcohol markers. I'm sorry, I misspoke. So now we've got this. We've got our combination colors. And we'll see how well we did this. I've never done this color combination before, and I've never used this stencil before, so I'm not promising anything. Oh, look how neat that looks. That looks pretty neat. Let me get the camera to focus on it for a second. So you can see the gradation in it. I didn't try very hard to blend it very well, so there's a little bit more of a delineation than I would probably want between the two colors. But I think it turned out pretty well for just a quick, example. So those are a few of the different things you can do with your stencils. And of course you can do your, hold on just one second. Let me grab some. I didn't think about doing this. I should have. Where is it? Let's grab this one. You can take your modeling paste with these as well. If you leave the color on, the color will go into the modeling paste. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do this area over here. I'm not going to be too particular about what part I do and don't get. I haven't opened this in a while. Oh, it opened right up. And so I'm going to kind of stir it up a little bit. That's working out pretty well. Then you don't want to put it on the front. You want it to be on the back of the blade, like so. Then you're going to spread it out. And then once it dries, you can use color on it. And you want to fill in the area. Oops. Not quite getting it thick enough. There we go. There we go. And just lift it straight up, and you can see a little mistake right there, but I can just wipe it right off while it's wet. It's where it hit the next little spot over. Okay, I'm going to wipe this off really well. Just this is modeling paste. You can use gesso, heavy gesso, super heavy gesso, things like that. Those are all white mediums that will do this effect. So let me put this over here. So this is what this looks like. Can you see it? And it's got an edge. See by the shadow that it's raised up. It's raised up. And now when this dries, we can use any number of things to color it. We can use sprays. We can use inks with the brushes. We can use watercolor if we only want to color, you know, just the leaves. That would be pretty. You can use your distress crayons and scribble a mark on your glass surface and then spray it with water to activate it, and then use it as a watercolor if you have a lot of the distress crayons. Then your colors, you know, will match your distress colors, the rest of them on your image. If you want, you can ink first and then do the gesso. Be aware that the gesso may pick up some of the color if you've done it underneath where you're going to gesso. Spraying first and then gessoing looks nice as well. So there's all kinds of different things that you can do on a manila folder with a stencil and a stamp. And we could have stamped the long stamp right along here as well if we had wanted to. That might look pretty cool instead of, you know, this, or in conjunction with. You can have this on this side and the stamping on that side, and then put your paper in the center, and then gesso and ink your gradation there, you know, your blending in there on your paper as well, depending on what kind of paper you use and whether it's like a kit paper or not that already has images on it. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this video, and I will see you in the next BeeBeeCraft series. This is the end for series 9, but I will see you in series 10, and we will have some more great products from BeeBeeCraft and have some fun playing around with them. And yeah, that's going to be what we're going to do. So I'll see you in those videos soon. Okay, alrighty, bye bye.